Hi and welcome back to another episode on Dare to podcast. My name is Bette Hansen and today you're going to listen to my conversation I had last week with Amber Pariera. Amber is a very genuine, kind, awesome and special person. We have connected over the last weeks and months and I'm really excited for you to hear about her story. You may find that I find it hard in this episode to find the words to say what I want, but I'm trying my best and finding solutions, so I hope that you will hang on to the podcast even though there may be some pauses in between. I also think this is what makes it special, and we should allow ourselves to make time to reflect on things that we have been told by others and come with an answer that is what we want to say. So I hope that, as I just said, you'll hang on, because Amber have a lot of things to share with us, very important points and things to remember in your life, both about how you should surround yourself with the people you surround yourself, how to choose wisely, and how to be aware of your own self-worth, know your self-worth, and about self-growth. So we speak about this, and Amber, she gives her view on all of this and how she have grown from being very insecure but also hating herself to loving herself and believing in herself, believing in what she do and the person she are. Thank you for being here and listening, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. So today I am having Amber Pariera on the Dare to podcast. Really excited to talk with Amber about a lot of mental health topics. And Amber, she is, you can find her on Instagram. She's a mental health coach, and you can also find her on Spotify. She has her own podcast as well, and just helps people on the internet via that platforms. And I will call her inspirator and kind of also motivator because of the stuff that she shares and in the ways that she does. And so also she identify as she, they. So and then she's just a really awesome person with some good energy. I love that. So that was kind of a little introduction here from me.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So is there anything you would like to add up to that? That people should know.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit it, but I am a mental health coach. I help people with their mindset. Really, what I do with my clients is walk them through their own internal transformation, human revelation, really tapping into their inner peace, their happiness, their courage, their compassion, and overcoming anything that stands in the way of living authentically and really owning that self-worth. So that's basically what I do. And I love it so much.
That was a really good explanation, coming right into what we really do when what we really do when you do what you do. So thank you for that. I was also kind of, when I started to pick like some things that I wanted to talk with you about, and I was kind of in doubt about where to start at first, because there's so many interesting things, but I'll just start with one of the first thing I thought about is actually how did you both how did you come to the place as a person where you are now, and a mental health coach. um that's kind of two questions in one, but if you can, I would love to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much how I explain this to people is my life journey
Mm.
has unfolded into my purpose and what I'm meant to do here and on this earth, this world, this planet, this universe.
Yeah.
So, very story in a nutshell. I'll keep it to the point, but when I realized I was gay when I was younger, I immediately hated myself for it. I felt completely out of place. I didn't fit in, and I struggled for years and years and years. And then,
Mm.
even coming out of the closet, like I had a very supportive family, very unconditional love, accepting, but you would think that would change things, but being
Yeah.
LGBTQ and the way the world is and the pressure that we have being a minority, it doesn't really change much. I still struggled so much
Mm.
internally, and because of that, having an accepting family, it made me feel like I had to pretend to be happy all the time so that other people could not only accept me but also love me, and still beat myself up for years and years and years, and hating myself caused like guilt, resentment, shame inside of myself for who I am. And then on top of that, I lost a really close friend to suicide my senior year of
Oh.
high school. So that took me down a really dark place, because then it was like double the shame, double the
Mm.
guilt, double the resentment, because I wish I could have done something more, all of those horrible things. I really spiraled down to a place of not really knowing what to do or what my direction was in life. So I thought my answer at the time was going to be transitioning from female to male,
Mm.
because in the back of my head, I was like, if I could just be quote unquote normal and
Mm.
live up to presenting as a cis guy, then I wouldn't have all these problems. Then I could be happy, I would fit in, like I would be a part of the, again, quote unquote normal. But
Yeah.
then 8 months down the road of transitioning on hormone treatment, I found myself in a really, really dark place where I was like so far away from my
Mm.
truth, my core, who I really am deep down. And that's like complete opposite for like a normal, well, not normal, but like your typical
Yeah.
transgender journey. You're getting closer to your true self. You're
Mm.
really revealing that true self and taking off the layers that weren't meant to be there. But for me, it was the complete opposite. So I had like pretty much like reverse dysphoria and was just
Yeah.
really lost and really angry because of the hormones, testosterone. I was
Yeah.
already an angry person at the world, and then that just made me like 10 times more angrier.
Yeah.
And so 8 months down the road and on that journey, I didn't know what to do. I felt crazy. I felt like I was never going to figure things out. I just
Mm.
wanted to leave. I was just like, there's no answer for me. There's no place for me here. Like, this is so ridiculous. And I also didn't want to detransition either, because I didn't want to be seen as that crazy person who couldn't figure themselves out. And all of those thoughts were running through my head. So the darkest place in my life was sitting down to write my suicide notes, getting ready to go, and then looking at myself in the mirror. Something just like sparked in me where it was just the thought of I could either commit suicide or I could commit to myself. And that was like the point of no return for me. It was like that moment I committed to finding my inner peace, doing whatever it takes to love myself unconditionally and to create the life that I truly deserve. And
Mm.
from there, it was just like picking up small habits, doing things, building structure in my life again, just kind of like moving things around and focusing up more on myself and taking a step back and picking up little things little by little, and then doing that for about like 4 years on my own of like self-development. I was going back to school for psychology because I always knew I wanted to help people. So I wanted to be a
Yeah.
physical therapist, then I wanted to be a psychologist, then I wanted to be an occupational therapist, then I wanted to do social work, like all of
Yeah.
these professions that are going to help people. Like I always
Mm.
knew that. But those professions still didn't really align with me because I really wanted to like change lives like on a really impactful level, and I
Mm.
always knew that. So during college I took a neuroscience class. It was like an intro to neuroscience. Started to learn about the mind and the brain, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like this is so cool. Like I spent
Mm.
my growing up years like learning about the body and like the physiology and all of that cool stuff. But
Yeah.
then I started to learn about the brain, and I was like, this is really cool. And that's what
Yeah.
drove me to look more into mindset. And then looking more into mindset, I was still like, even after like 4 or 5 years of like working on things on my own and like building structure and being more healthy and all that stuff, I
Yeah.
was still not like fulfilled. I was still not feeling that like feeling I wanted to feel, that I knew I could feel. I just couldn't figure it out. So doing that neuroscience class, looking into mindset, then I picked, and then I got my own coach, and that was like the clicking moment for me where everything completely transformed. Like all of that work I put in for 4 years just
Yeah.
solidified it all with that coach. And then during that internal transformation journey for me, I was like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like, I'm meant to go help other LGBTQ people in this community accomplish their human revolution, accomplish their internal transformation, because all I ever wanted my entire life was, number one, just to be myself. That's all I ever
Mm.
wanted.
Yes,
And this
exactly.
world makes it so hard. Like it seems so
It
simple, like
really
be
does.
yourself.
Yes.
That's all I ever wanted, was to be myself. And then the second thing I ever wanted was
Mhm.
to craft a beautiful, big life that we all deserve.
Mm.
It's not even, I'm doing
Exactly.
this for myself. I'm doing it to show other people what is possible. So,
Yeah.
and diving into my purpose, I was determined. I literally just said, I'm doing this. Same thing, like if you notice the pattern, like when I know something within me, like it's just like I do it and I go.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was transgender, I did it, I went, and then I realized I wasn't. I did it and I went, and then purpose, it was like I did it and I went. So
Mm.
starting a business, still working on my self development for,
Mm.
I would say, the entirety of the first year of starting my business, because business is a whole self development journey on its
Yeah.
own. So
Absolutely.
being present and serving others for their internal transformation, and then behind scenes doing like my inner work and staying
Yes.
determined, making sure that I'm on top of things. So that's what led me to where I am today. The
Yeah.
whole journey just led into purpose, and here I am.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing all of that. And I'm so happy that you are here today also as well. And because it's hard to hear stories like this, but unfortunately there are so many of them. And
Mhm.
yeah, I've been really deep down also. But yeah, it's so, I just trying to just get all of this in right now. But it's so what do I say? I don't even know how to explain this, I think, but it's just yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm just so happy that you come to this place, and that you actually managed to like shift this kind of when you were at your lowest, and then to actually take the choice to realize that you that there was something out there for you, and also as well that you can be able to share that to others, that that there actually are both a lot of humans that actually want us, and just accept us for who we are, and for what we do, and for just the persons that we just are. That is because I know that's a lot of people can relate to that, and you know that too, and that's exactly why we do what we do also. Um, but I think it was really that, well, there's more things that I have just pointed or been writing down while you have been also telling about this. And one of the things was, you talk about your gender shifting, for like you, when you thought that that shifting from being a girl to a boy would be the right decision, but you actually notice that you don't feel this connection with the real you, while being on this. And I think that's really interesting also, that of course it's something I think that those who do it are aware of, but also just it may be because I have never heard of someone actually finding it to be the wrong decision when they were on this journey. Um, yeah. So can you tell some about that maybe if you?
Yeah. The understanding and awareness that I have now of it all is like, so going back to like the
Mm,
before the transition, it was like
yeah.
I hated myself for being gay. Like there was no other way to look at myself other than like disgusting. Like I just felt absolutely disgusting.
Mm,
So I didn't want to accept and love myself for being masculine and feminine. I just wanted to be a boy
mm,
because my entire growing up years, because I was so different from all of the girls growing up, I just felt
mm,
like I wanted to be a boy because I was so sick of this. Like, this isn't fair. Like, all
mm,
of those thoughts were playing into it. And then so transitioning was a way for me to completely push away like my truth, which is being a masculine female. And I
mm,
accept that now, but before I couldn't accept that. So going into the transition pushed me away from that.
yeah.
So during the transition, it was like I had this idea that I would be finding happiness in being a
Mm,
boy and being a male and finding that
yeah.
in self-discovery, but that was just not the case for me because
Mm,
8 months down the road, I had that moment with myself and I was like, I'm a masculine female. And that was the first time I had ever like admitted that to myself.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
so that made the entire transition pretty much my self-discovery to my lesbianism,
Mm,
my gayness, whatever we want to
yeah.
call it. But that was like the journey for me to discover that. So, in all honesty, for all the listeners, like I'm extremely grateful that I did that, even though it was the hardest thing that I had to do
Yeah.
because it led me to accepting myself for
Yeah.
who I am.
Okay.
So it was like this whole.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do. It's literally, it's
Yeah.
all a mind game. It's all perspective. It's
It
all the awareness
is.
I choose to focus on.
It
So
definitely is.
all I did was change my perspective and change my mindset, and then
Yeah.
everything unfolded.
So it was actually because you, yeah, reached to a point where you could look at yourself and you actually, yeah, accepted the person you
Mhm.
are because you haven't even like reached the point of being on what we call it when we shift from a girl to a boy. What do like yeah. Yeah, I just think it's interesting that it's the point there that you actually, yeah, come to the point where you accepted yourself and then go backwards, kind of. Um,
Yeah.
it is. And how many, yeah, how many years did it like take throughout this like getting to know getting to know yourself, but also being like this kind of bad state of not being happy with yourself and not accepting yourself. um yeah, how long have that been?
Since that moment in my life,
Yeah.
it's been 4 years exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
four
that's good to
years.
know. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so when did you actually then when did you find a mentor?
It was only a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
Found
Wow.
my first mentor a year and a half ago. Had my
Yeah.
experience and was like, I'm gonna get another mentor and I'm gonna go learn
Yeah.
how to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, yeah, because the first one is not always good, so we have to try different ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely know that because my I lost my dad when I was 16, and then I had a physiologist at my school actually, but because the school had like set things up so that I could have someone to talk with, and yeah, the first time was really not good. I didn't even talk at all. I think my mother was with me also, and then there went some months, and I came another place, and that was definitely better. And I have yeah, grateful as well that I have been able to talk with someone. But I think How did you how did you find the opportunity to talk with someone? Where did you go?
I think the universe gave it to me because they just kind of came in my DMs, like on Instagram, and I had never like heard of a
Oh, okay.
mentor, never heard of a coach, never heard of anything in that world before, and I was like, you know what? I've done everything else, and I'm still not where I want to be, so I'm gonna give this a
Mm,
shot, and that's how it went. I was like, let's do this.
okay. So on Instagram, that's cool. That's yeah. Because sometimes have asked people like where can we guide people to, or for example it could be ourselves, but if it should be a mentor or a physiologist, and Instagram is a great place also to search for someone, because there are beginning to being a whole new world of mental health
For sure.
coaches on there as well. So just like you.
Mhm.
Um, and so I'm just gonna look at. You also tell that shifting from, like, when you notice that, or when you actually came to the place where you wanted to what should I say, that you decided to actually be here and find your purpose and work on yourself and all these things. You also post, you've been posting about it on Instagram, on where you tell or share that oh, I just lost my thought. You have, like, um okay, so that you have spent years where you have been hating yourself, and finally came to a point where you actually, where you became aware of it. And one of the one of the reasons, of course, I want to ask is because to help people listening to this, but also I think as myself, I have been like in um, like, it's really kind of interesting, but it's like in the last weeks or months that I have noticed that there have been some part of me that, because when I was when I've been in school, and there's been like other just my classmates who have not, um just like you described, there are kids that we don't resonate with the personality that we have. Um and then, because we, for example, something that I have been just like to mention, an example is taking care of your skin or skincare. uh, just an example, that is something that I have always like struggled with, because when I was younger, um, I knew that a lot of girls used makeup, and I remember talking with my parents about it, and like covering up or make up your face, and not having the self confidence to just um, be you and show your face. Of course, there can be things. There can be things that we won't hide away, but where I want to go with it is that I've then found out that the reason that I haven't wanted to like do this or use this kind of uh, things is because I've not seen myself as a person like they are. Then I have not done things that they have done, because they have like been different than me, and then I have not thought that that would fit to me, even though everyone can do, for example, a skincare or yeah, things like that in different ways. Um, and therefore, it also led to me kind of not finding myself in like with my what should I say? Yeah, it's been some while before I realized that I was actually into girls, and then I also find out that I actually hated, have been not loving myself for a lot of things, and I'm finding out that shift to where we, yeah, become aware that we have been setting all of this dust on ourselves from the past and taking that with us to being aware, and then building new relationship and doing things to improve on this. How yeah, will you explain how have your journey been with that? Now you mentioned it in the start, but yeah, to break it a bit down. Yeah, that was kind of a long explanation. I had to kind of
I like it.
find out how I just yeah, to come up with it. So yeah,
Yeah,
would
I
you
love
tell
it.
us about that?
Yeah, just a couple of thoughts that were coming up for me, like just thinking about like my journey and kind of like resonating with your journey and just our commonalities there is like I know now where I am, like if I was looking in the mirror, sorry, what the hell?
It's okay.
Hold on, there's hair. Okay, okay. If I was like in the mirror 4 years ago today, it would just be negative. It would be disempowering. It would be so unsupportive, and that's because I didn't really see myself back then for who I was. It's like we all know who we are. We know we're
Yeah.
beautiful. We know we're powerful, but we choose not to see it. So in the
Exactly.
mirror like 4 years ago, I wasn't seeing myself for who I was.
Mm,
So that also reflects into reality. People don't see me for who I am, and I'm
mm,
really frustrated because people aren't seeing me for who I am, but that's because I can't even see myself for who I am in the mirror. So how can I expect other people to see me for who I am if I'm not owning who I am? So 4 years down the road, like when I look in the mirror, I see a completely different person. Like
yeah.
it's like I don't even recognize who I am anymore because
Mm,
I just accept myself and see myself for what I am, who I am. But that's like underneath the surface stuff, but like surface level stuff of like beauty focus and like, trying to present a certain way for people and, just wearing cool clothes and all that stuff.
yeah.
That was my lifestyle up until
Mm,
4 years ago because that's all I had. Like I'm not saying this from a place of arrogance, but it's like I know that I'm good looking, so I know that I always had that to back me up. It
mm,
didn't matter how ugly I was in here, it didn't matter how much I was struggling in here, as long
mm,
as I could put on a pretty face, wear cool clothes, get
mm,
really good looking bitches, like all the
mm,
ego, like arrogant lifestyle. That's how I was. So before it was all about physical appearance for me, and that was all I had to rely on. But
yeah.
now, 4 years down the road, completely looking inward, I could care less about physical
Mm,
appearance. I could care less about what other people like think of me, what I'm wearing, how I'm presenting. As long as I love myself and accept myself, then that's all that
mm,
matters. And that's something that I've really it's not even just broken that pattern with myself, it also has broken that pattern with other people because
mm,
because I couldn't see myself and accept
yeah.
myself because I was so beauty focused, I
Mm,
was so judgmental towards other people. Like I said very like snarky comments or
mm,
pretty much comments to make other people feel less than, or like, like they would be sarcastic jokes, but in all honesty, they were fucked up and they were pretty mean. Like, you don't need to say those things, Amber, but no
mm,
more of that. So not only did it switch the relationship I have with myself, it switched the relationship I have with other people as well. Because
yeah.
now that I can go deep with myself and see myself on a really deep level, that allows me to see everyone around me on that level as well. So no more judgment, nothing. I don't care about the way people look anymore. I just care about the way they think and where their heart is
Mm,
at. And that's the
mm,
most important thing in this world. But it's hard. I mean, all of the stuff that you and I are talking about today, like self-development, self-growth, self-love, all of this stuff, it seems hard because it's completely reverse of the lifestyle that society has raised us
yeah.
to believe is true for us. It's
Yeah,
completely reversed of it all.
it is.
So it seems hard, but it's not hard for everyone listening. It's not hard. It's just uncomfortable. For
It is.
example, like what we're talking about right now, like looking at ourselves in the mirror and like loving ourselves for who we are, it's uncomfortable when you start until it becomes comfortable. And it's only uncomfortable because if you think about it, for me, that was like 20 years of patterns in my mind that was like, you're ugly, you're a piece of shit, like you don't belong here. That's 20 years of patterns.
Mm,
So to get to a place in your life where you're trying to break all those patterns, it's going to be uncomfortable because
mm,
you've never created that space to be kind to yourself, support yourself, and love yourself. So it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel fake, but you just keep doing it and you keep building that muscle. And soon enough, that muscle is going to be like full force flex.
exactly. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. What has been some practices that you have done to now we mentioned like just standing in the mirror and looking at oneself and actually saying, I love this person, I love you, and you're amazing, you're doing a good job. Also, I listened to this Jay Shetty podcast with Mel Robbins, and because that Mel Robbins have been writing this book about the high five.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Um, and I think it's so admirable also just how yeah, just telling these stories, but also yeah, the way you describe it, and the way that it's like when we stand in the mirror and look at ourselves, we have to like wipe all of this dust away from the past that has actually nothing to do with us, but kind of, or maybe it can be, yeah, or not, because you mentioned it before, we actually know that we are worthy, but because of the society and the things outside, which is the dust, then we have to, yeah, practice this uh, high fives as they talk about. So, what are things that you do and have been doing um, to practice self love and to become more confident in yourself and love
Yeah.
yourself? Yeah.
The one that I started with for beginner self lovers out there is, and this one I recommend to all of my clients in the beginning of the journey, is setting a timer for 2 minutes a day. And I say 2 minutes because 2 minutes to love yourself, it's not asking you a whole lot. So set a timer for yourself, 2 minutes a day, look in the mirror. I love you, I love you, I love you, I accept you, I'm proud of you. Whatever you need to hear for that day to make yourself feel loved and supported.
Mm,
Just say it to yourself in the mirror, 2 minutes a day, and it will change you. But this isn't to say that you do this one time and it's going to change you. The way
mm,
change actually happens is repetition. So if you want to see
exactly.
change, if you really want to love yourself, you got to do this every single day.
Yeah.
But again, it's only 2 minutes. And then the other exercise that was so freaking helpful in the beginning is definitely affirmations. But
Mm,
again, you don't get to just change your affirmations every day. You got to do the same affirmations until they get in your mind and then you actually believe it and embody it. So you
yeah.
have to stick to the same ones until you really get that in your mind and believe it to be true for you. So affirmations was another big one in the beginning. I always recommend sticking to like 3 affirmations at max
Mm,
for like 2 weeks. And same thing, you set a timer for 2 minutes and you write those 3 affirmations over and over and over and over and over again every
mm,
single day until you start to feel that naturally.
yeah.
Those are
Okay.
the two biggest ones I use for my clients. And then, of course, like just journaling. Like, if
Yeah.
you're starting your self development journey, your self love journey, like, just get all the shit out of your head. Like, it's been
Mm,
in your head for X amount of years. You got to start somewhere. So, start clearing it out. Start
definitely.
understanding, like, what's actually going on inside. But because you can't understand what's going on in here if you just keep it in here and thinking the same thoughts over and over again, because you think the same things and blah 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 and it just keeps
Yeah.
happening and happening. So the first thing is get it out in a journal, understand where you're at, and then figure out what resources, what help you might need, and then
Mm,
go from there. But
yeah.
journal in the beginning. Anyone that's
Yeah.
starting, get the shit out of your head because
Yeah.
it's not gonna help.
Definitely. It has helped me tremendously too. From beginning also to just yeah journaling as well, and doing affirmations and writing things down in the morning that I'm grateful for. It's just been such a mind shift to be more positive in general, and yeah, focus on the positive things and the good things, all of the good things that you have in life, to live for as well. Yeah. So thank you for sharing those tips also,
Yeah,
practical
you're
things.
welcome. I have one more. I have one
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
This is a good one because
Go
this
ahead.
is like you can do this tip, tool, activity, whatever you want to call it. You can do this one moment to moment, so like anytime.
Yeah.
So this one is like when you catch yourself thinking about like what you're lacking
Mm,
or you start like disempowering yourself, immediately in that moment, think about one thing you can appreciate either about
mm,
yourself or what's in front of you right now.
yeah.
Always finding the good, like just bouncing off of what you were saying, like looking for the positive things, because the universe is of the law. There's law of polarity, and law of
Mm,
polarity is like seeing both sides to
yeah.
everything. Because in the end, and the reality is, the hard truth is, everything is neutral. So if you
Mm,
can start training your mind when you catch yourself lacking, start replacing it with appreciation, and
Yeah.
do that consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I've been that's actually a thing that I've been practicing, and also being just much more aware of for the past weeks. Actually, since the COVID started, because that was when it started for me. But getting out of bed and not just thinking, oh, or letting your thoughts uh, like be take the control of your mind. So instead of, yeah, letting your thoughts say that I'm tired and, oh, I have some other things to do, and I've begun to say, well, I'm happy and I'm fresh and I'm looking forward to these things. And yeah, just doing it today, some of the, yeah, as one of the because I listened to this podcast yesterday, and it was the first time that I realized that there was actually also others who have these thoughts in the morning, as and that it's normal to not just always be yeah, happy and think about all the good things. But yeah, so yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
That's something, yeah, that's something it's so interesting. Like when my clients start working with me, they always like think like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, or my brain's slow, or like all of
Mm,
these like negative comments about themselves. But like the reality is, as sad as this all sounds, and as fortunate as it is, as a collective in the world, everyone is struggling with the same thing inside right now. And
yeah.
that's just the reality of it. We've all got negative thoughts. We all have destructive emotions that we don't know how to release.
Mm,
Like everyone is struggling. So I hate to say it, but it is normal to be
yeah.
thinking negative things and to feel lost and to feel unhappy inside,
Yeah.
because all you need to everyone needs to do is just learn how your brain functions and how your
Exactly.
mind works, and life is golden. But that also includes facing yourself, which is the scariest thing, but also
Yeah,
the most rewarding thing.
it is. Definitely is. Um. So also um you you use social media also to share your story and to help others um, in the LGBTQ plus community. And how do you find yourself using social media? And yeah, have you have bad experience with this, and how have you like learned to, or maybe still learning to navigate and learn to yeah, use it the most healthy way?
Yeah. Where do I start?
Mm,
So now I use social media in a very positive and empowering way.
mm,
And before I started my coaching practice and journey, it was like I didn't have any social media at all, because it actually
mm,
harmed my mental health and my well-being, because I was one of those people that would constantly like check the news, LGBTQ news, and like just like see all of the hate and negative stuff around the world, and it didn't make anything better for me. So there was I stopped using social media, like overall, I deleted everything. So the only reason I got back onto social media was to start my coaching practice and to start serving other people.
Okay.
So I went from a disempowering social media and unhealthy habit use to an empowering, healthy habit use to make an impact in the world and build connections with people. And what was the question? So I make sure I answer it.
How do you, yeah, make sure that you use, yeah, social media in the most healthy way? Because one of the things that I have learned and just being aware of is that, um, yeah, a lot of people that there's a lot of people who struggle um, because we like tend to uh, what's the word? We tend to uh, like this when we post something and we have like the social media bound up to also our self-worth instead of actually separating these things and yeah being aware of your worth but um, and knowing that you should share things on social media because you just want to like share memories and keep them as just there as a place and also um, yeah use it as a platform to connect with people, use it as a platform to inspire others and help others. Yeah, how have you like learned to do that, to like separate your own kind of yeah self-worth from the social media kind of yeah yeah if that gives sense.
Taking a lot of them to me means like just taking action, not caring what happens, and learning and growing and going from there. So, like in the beginning, it was a lot of uncomfortability. It was a lot of fear. It was a lot of doubts. It was like, what are people going to think of me? What
Mm,
are my high school friends going to think of me for stepping into this? What is
yeah.
my mom going to think of me? Like, what are all of these people going to think
Mm,
of me? And then,
yeah.
plus, putting myself out
Yeah.
there into the world in front of strangers all over the world, it was
Mm,
like so much uncomfortability.
yeah.
But what had it's there's just this passion inside of me that has allowed me to
Mm,
override all of that. Like,
yeah.
just not care and just dive in, fuck up, learn, grow, do it again,
Yes.
keep doing it. And the passion behind it is like just my vision and my purpose needed to happen yesterday in this world.
Mm,
So it's like I need to do everything I need to do to make sure it's out there and making a difference and
yeah.
serving people and making other members in this community feel seen, feel heard, give them a laugh, make them feel happy. So that includes me showing up on Instagram.
Mm,
And if I
yeah.
can't show up on Instagram, then how the heck am I going to make a difference? So
Mm,
I chose to just keep pushing past it, pushing past it, pushing past it to a point where I just don't even care anymore because I know myself so deeply. I know who I am, my core values, I know what I stand for. I know exactly what I'm trying to create in this world. So anyone who doesn't see that in me, it's
mm,
like you can get out of here. Like
yeah.
it has nothing to do with me. If you can't see me for who I am, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it took a lot of fear. It took a lot of breaking past fear. It took a lot of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Ever since I started this journey, I don't even really know what comfort is anymore. It's just like uncomfortable every single day, and that's the
Mm,
that's the beauty
yeah.
in it. It just allows you
Yeah.
to grow. And then as you're uncomfortable, like things come to the surface and people choose to ignore those things, but that's like the opportunity to say, "Oh my God, there's shit here that I need to work on and work through it and overcome and transform it." So all through the uncomfortable moments, things come to the surface. That's what allowed me to grow, grow, and grow.
Mm, yeah.
Wasn't easy in the beginning, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that you say that it also having your care values and knowing, yeah, just being aware. Oh, sorry. Um, yeah, knowing your core values and knowing that you have like this passion for something, I think that helps definitely tremendously to know that you really want something and to show up both for yourself and for others because you just have this desire to help people in a way and yeah, something that you also mentioned is which I have been struggling a lot with also when I started to post different things and post things that I hope would be able to help people and kind of would allow me to get into the space of being able to help people is that yeah, when I posted things I was literally thinking like what would my parents think, or what would my cousins think of now seeing this kind of side from me, or my classmates, what would they think now when I come to school tomorrow? um yeah, which way would they look at me? And I also just came to a place where like um I knew that I wanted this just so much, just like you say, so that I just yeah, I asked myself like, if not now, then when am I being ready for this? Then I don't think the ready will come, then I just have to do it, and I will become more confident in it also, and definitely has been helping me to become more confident in trusting and showing up for myself and others, and yeah, knowing that just like you, we are the persons to actually dare to do these things and do different things than yeah, some others may be used to do. So that's really beautiful, and thank you for sharing that as well. Um, and I also heard this quote once from Brené Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because she was in a place sometime, and I don't know if it was before the TED talk or after or when it was. I don't really exactly remember, but I just know that she mentioned this, and it helped me a lot also, that it is not the it's not the fault or it's not the man, um it's not the human who like steps into the place of uncertainty or all of these things, like oh, what is it, but like just it's so important to remember that you are the person to actually do something different and to stepping into this place, and then all these people staying behind or looking at you are not doing these things, but also um, talking about getting critic or being scared about comments or critic or thoughts from others. Yeah, it's just so important to remember that, yeah, just being the person to do something and yeah, do different and get out there is so remarkable. Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to say that as well. Um, uh, mm, yeah, so one of the last things also, or actually this question that I have is, how do we, because just as you mentioned at the start, we live in a world where self awareness and self growth is being more shown, and it is something that we are being more aware of mental health in general. How do you think that we keep on yeah being open to self growth, and like, because I think that it's kind of a hard thing, because when like um yeah, I want to talk about a bit about like being open to self growth and how we do it like even more than we do now, and how do we like make it available, and your thoughts on it, because I think also some people, we can't like just push things on people, because if you aren't ready, then like the seed wouldn't grow when we put it there. But I think, yeah, just what I'm asking is, how do we like keep on and making it more be able? What do you think is the things to do?
I think that the people who are meant to be thought leaders and take massive responsibility for their self growth and show other people what's possible is going to keep creating change in this world, because
Mm,
there's two ways to change the human behavior. You can either manipulate people, aka society does that very well, or you can inspire people. So if you
mm,
can become the most inspired version of yourself, you're going to inspire other people. At first it starts with the mindset and the groundwork and the emotions, but then you get to this energetic level of you creating this energy that has this ripple effect of impact into the world and everyone that you interact with. So I really think it's up to the people who feel called to and have a burning passion
mm,
inside of themselves to get out there and make a difference in this
yeah.
world, because and I think that's what's really going to drive us forward, because the more people who get out and do that, the more new collective energy we're building
Yeah.
as a humanity. So, because also the reality is like anyone out there has access to all self-growth material. It's
Mm,
all over online. You can go find it anywhere and
exactly.
you can try new things, but also it's just you get to a point when you're doing that and you do it really well and you're trying these new things, but then there's this block of like there has to be more, like there has to be more, there has to be more, and that's when like a
Mm,
good mentor or a coach would come in.
mm,
And this philosophy isn't even new. This goes back like 3,000 years ago. Like in Buddhism they talk about all the time, like, you really need a mentor to take you through your human revolution, and they
yeah.
said this 3,000 years ago, and it's no different today. The reason that is because people like me who have completely had my internal transformation, cultivated this new energy inside of me, I'm able to create a space for people where they have deep self discovery. And also, it allows me to bring out the best in other people because I've brought out the best in myself. So,
Mm,
people who
yeah.
desire to do that, I say, get over yourself and get out there and make a difference, because that is how this world is going to change,
Yeah.
because you can't help people who don't want to be helped. But if there's more inspiration out there,
Yeah.
then people are going to want to help themselves, because it's like,
Exactly.
if they can do it, I can do it. And that's just the truth. We're all the same. I was having this thought this morning actually about this. I was thinking about like, just like all the, just not so great presidents or like world leaders around the world, and just
Mm,
kind of like what's going on. I was like,
yeah.
vaguely thinking about all this, and I was like, you know what? Like, if they're out there in power with like all this evil and bad intention and like just this controlling nature in them, then why the fuck not can I get up there and be an
Mm,
inspiration, love, compassion, and unity? It's the same thing,
mm,
just different ways to go about
yeah.
it. So that's how I think we're going to make a difference, is just keep growing and keep doing your thing. And
Yes.
if you're out there working on yourself, simply put, you are making a difference. Just keep working
Yeah.
on yourself. People
Yeah.
think it's outside of them, but it's right here within you.
It
You
is.
quite literally are the greatest gift in the universe. If you develop yourself, you develop your environments, you develop your communities, you develop the
Yeah.
world.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the, yeah, so much so important things because it comes from within, and that's why it also can be so hard to like sometimes make people or other people aware. Because for example, when we have like been, yeah, when we've been working on ourselves and we know other people who might not have given that much work, but we can just see how much it will give them because of how much it has given ourselves. um and I remember, yeah, just myself standing in the position of kind of, well, I've always like kind of being somehow aware and wanted to like grow and expand, but it's especially began at just the point of where when I had a physiologist and I just kind of became like addicted in a good way because I know how much it gave me and how much it actually made me grow, how much I became aware of all of the things that I could work on to become a better human, just yeah, for myself, and there in that way also be there for others. Um, so, but yeah, getting to that point of actually realizing and being able to, yeah, make that space, and yeah, it's just so important that we that the people who actually know that they yeah, just like you mentioned, have this are aware of this, that we keep inspiring, because yeah, that's also just so important to yeah, let people be aware of the opportunities that are out there. So yeah, thank you for that too. And also one of the things that I've been thinking about for the past years after I've been talking with a physiologist, is that I've like throughout the years I've been more and more like into the idea that kind of everybody should have a mentor and or a physiologist, someone they talk to, kind of still having that thought that if everyone had that, then I realized that it is not actually, because this had something to do also with me and my school and how the system works and how it makes, yeah, again, makes us feel wrong and different, and like we are not um, just like everyone else, but we actually have different ways to learn and to grow. Um, but yeah, then I read this in the new book of Brenda Brown, that actually one of third part of the United States actually have some kind of anxiety, and also should have a mentor. I didn't know that, but I also think that that was interesting, that there actually are so many people who actually do need a mentor, because they experience things in life that we haven't learned to deal with, and we haven't been taught the tools um, to, yeah, how to deal with these things, and yeah, just how to live with this and handle it. So yeah, I had something. Yeah, I had one more question about you identify as she, they, but what does that mean for you? Because when, yeah, what does that mean to you? Just
It means to me, so yeah, my entire journey and then getting to where I am at now, like I wish, and well, I wish and I can still do this, but I just want to be seen as a human being, like
mm,
where I've gotten to in my journey. Like I don't really identify as anything. However, I do appreciate the question and I respect
mm,
pronouns. So I choose to go by she, they, but like however anyone
mm,
chooses to see me is absolutely 100% okay, as long as you're treating me like another human being, as long as you're seeing me for who I am, and we can have like open communication and all of that stuff. So what it means to me is like I just simply choose to be human. I can go out in
yeah,
public and people can call me she, people can call me he, and it really just doesn't bother me anymore. When
mm,
once that used to
okay,
really bother me and
yeah,
get
okay,
me all wild up. So it's part of my purpose and my passions is just to redirect the human language and the labels
mm,
we choose to use, because the language and the labels is what fucks you up in your mind
yeah,
because of the way we portray it in society, when it
it
doesn't have to be
is,
that way, because every single word we use can be seen a million different ways. It's just
mm,
how are you choosing to see it, and then
yeah,
you choosing to see it that one way comes from something else. It's not you. So
mm,
yeah, my pronouns definitely align with like my purpose for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that, and also telling that. Because I didn't think about they as in that way, but it also yeah, it just I feel with this, because just being a human is also an important thing, just for me. um so yeah,
It's
um
really powerful. It's really, really
it
powerful when you
is,
can look at like every person and group and ethnicity and gender and sexuality, whatever that person is, even if they're a Republican and absolutely want to kill me. Like if we can look at everyone and anyone as a human family, you can find something beautiful in every single person. And
Yeah,
I think there's so
exactly.
much beauty in that. Even
Yeah,
if even if your beliefs don't align.
yeah.
Get your beliefs out of here and find something you love about that person. It's not that
Mm,
hard. Just takes a little bit more cognitive strength, but it's a good thing.
yeah, it does. Yeah, because I've often thought that when having the pronouns they, that it means that it could be, but yeah, you do say that it could be both she and he, but it could also be um like I don't even know how to like explain it, but it could like yeah, I just guess I have it. I didn't see it as a way that yeah you just said like just being a human being, and I think that's beautiful. Yeah, because I also think that people who do not who may look into the LBG LGB LGBTQ community like people who are not as known with it, people who yeah, unfortunately, do not support it. I think that there are many who actually do identify with this they because a lot of people are not that aware of themselves. Having yeah, we all have a lot of insecurities, and that makes us yeah not yeah kind of being actually scared of opening up and loving ourselves and seeing ourselves as just a human being. So yeah, I think that a lot of people yeah more people than they know would yeah yeah if they knew that they would be more open. I think, I guess, I would hope so. So yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting topics as well. And yeah, I find myself really hard sometimes to like when having to say something or yeah, uh, getting the words, sometimes I find hard
It
to find
happens.
them. So yeah, sometimes better than us, kind of different, but yeah, just also a thought I just got from you sharing that. Um, and also I did ask you on Instagram this question about the Buddhism meeting, and you did explain it as well. I saw, but yeah, could you tell here on as well what it is and
Yeah.
yeah, with for you?
I I practice Nichiren Buddhism, and I picked this up like last July, and I was in a moment where I was just like really defeated and like kind of felt like giving up, but like then Nichiren Buddhism came into my life, and it's this entire life philosophy that's like all about it. The purpose of Nichiren Buddhism is like the philosophy of it all is like it believes in every single human being activating
Mm,
their limitless potential. It's quite literally 3,000 years ago writing in self development and mindset, and it applies to the world that we're in today. And it's so fascinating. And quite literally, everything about Nietzsche and Buddhism, the philosophy, the values are completely aligned with who I am, what I do. So I was like just so interested in it and really dove into it, and it's another thing that's really transformed my life and my self-development because there's so many things that I was doing before that, but like Nietzsche and Buddhism and chanting solidifies the whole game because it's really having that connection and that faith in that higher power, the universe, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
God, whatever you resonate with out there, but it's just having that
Mm,
connection and that faith in something more than yourself. And I found that so powerful. And I
yeah.
really like the philosophy behind it because there is no hierarchy at all.
Mm,
Like the difference between
I
Buddhism,
love
like
that.
other religions is there's no hierarchy. So like when I'm chanting, I'm not chanting to Buddha. I'm
Mm.
chanting because I am Buddha and I can take action and make my life the way that I
Yeah,
want it to be because
exactly.
I hold that power. So I really like that aspect of it because the Buddhist meetings, they happen all the time. They happen all the time, but they're really cool because they're people all over the world. Like Sokogaki International is Nichiren Buddhism and it's worldwide. So it's
Mm.
people all over the world, different sexualities, different age groups, different gender identities, different ethnicities, like complete human family of all different people, different stories, different struggles, different obstacles, different goals,
Yeah.
and we just come together, talk about the philosophy, talk about some concepts, and then
Mm.
we have open discussions about like how we've overcome challenges or obstacles and really giving other people that inspiration or even that support if they need it at the time. So it's really beautiful the way that it's all laid out, and I'm really thankful that it
Yeah.
came to my life because, yeah, I would say it really strengthened my determination when I was in
Mm.
a defeat moment in my life when I felt like
Oh,
giving up on all of this. And Nichiren Buddhism allowed me to regain that faith and determination.
yeah. All right. Okay. How often do you have these meetings?
They happen often. They happen at least once a week. Doesn't mean I
Yeah.
go to them every single week, but they do happen
Okay.
like once a week. And then
Yeah. Okay.
I host a lot of them, and that's fun. It's
Yeah. I actually thought they were kind of a part of your mental health coaching, but it isn't. It's
no,
something wholly different.
yeah, it's something
Mm.
different.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Where can people find it somewhere or connect with it? How
yeah.
do we find it?
If anyone wants to reach out to me and like learn more about it and learn how to apply the practice to your life and what it can do
Yeah.
for you and how it benefits you, feel free to reach out to me. But other than that, if you want to go in and dive into some research, you can just go to sokogakiinternational.com, which
Mm.
is S as in Sam, GI.com.
Mm.
Or you can look up Nichiren Buddhism online. You can also look up the term Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. If you
Mm.
just say that into your iPhone voice clip thing, the internet will know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Okay.
Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
Right. That's cool. Great. Awesome. Okay. Then I want to have one last question. Um, how did you actually, you talked about it in the start, but I just want to get it up again and hear more about it. How did you become a mental health coach? What kind of program or education was it that you took? Um, yeah, and school kind of what's the name? Yeah, yeah. How did you get there again?
Mhm. I took a lot of like what I was saying was like growing up I took a lot of like sports medicine classes, learned a lot about biology, chemistry
Yeah,
and the human body and all of that great stuff. So I have that knowledge behind me, but then
yeah,
going to college I got more into like psychology. So I took psychology for years and took neuroscience classes on top of that and really learned about the mind. And then from there it was all self-study. It was hiring the top mentors in the entire world so that I could be
okay,
at their level and that they could share that knowledge with me because I could
yeah,
read books all day, I could go to school all day if I wanted to, or I could just sacrifice and spend a bunch of money on a
exactly.
mentor and get
Yeah,
all that knowledge I need installed into my brain, and
yeah,
then I could go out and do what I want to do. So
yeah,
that's what I chose to do. So every day since all like 4 years ago, it's all been
mm,
learning and growing, learning and growing. So since I self-taught myself up until there, getting a mentor and then learning how to learn faster and
mm,
share knowledge and all of that great stuff because I spent money on that. Now I can do all of that. And now it's like I still learn on a daily basis. I grow on a daily basis, but now additionally I serve on a
mm,
daily basis.
yeah.
So that's pretty much my routine every day is like learn, grow, and serve.
That's amazing. Because I think and believe that we need to be aware of more direction or more ways to like become whatever we want to become. And in this case, mental health coach. Yeah, because it's just something that I find so it's like yeah, kind of in this system that we have to follow, but there are so many other ways to also actually get the same knowledge um, by experience or by other coaches. Yeah, having conversation and getting just getting knowledge. So thank you for sharing that as well.
You're welcome.
Um,
There are
yes,
so many ways to do things, and
there
the
are
biggest thing that I see people is like, you just got to believe in yourself, and you got to know that you
exactly,
have the knowledge and wisdom to start a business like right now.
exactly,
And that's it.
exactly.
Because everyone has it and you just need a little extra push to get it. But like
Yeah,
belief in yourself and trusting your knowledge is
yeah,
the biggest thing. Because that's what got me to where I am today. I knew that I could make a difference in people's lives.
mm,
So I was like, I'm going to make a difference in people's lives. And I did whatever I needed to do that.
yeah,
Because if I'm going to promise that to people, okay, I got to live
yeah,
up to my promise and make it
yeah,
happen. So
exactly.
that was like that passion and that determination. So it's really
Yeah,
like getting out and doing it because that's what's going to push you to go. If you don't
exactly.
get out and do it, there is no push. But if you get
Yeah,
out and do it, you're being pushed to do it.
yes, definitely. What has then been the most hardest practical thing about starting your own business?
The loneliness. It's all
Yeah,
me. It's all me. Besides my
yeah,
amazing communities and like mentorships and like mastermind groups and all of those great things that I invested in so that I could level up and all that
mm,
stuff. But if I didn't have all of that by my side, there's no way I would be here today because the
mm,
hardest thing on the journey is stepping outside of the norm,
yeah,
stepping outside of what
yeah,
people don't normally do, which is,
exactly.
step into your power and develop
Mm,
yourself and create something awesome. So doing that involved all of my environments around me saying, there's no way I could do this. I should go back to school because I only had a quarter
mm,
left. Like, why did you give up? Like, all of these things, like, just, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like,
mm,
complete, just utter crap because the reality is they just haven't achieved it themselves and they don't believe in themselves as much as I do. So it's
yeah,
not actually saying that I can't do it. It's just saying they haven't done it before. So
yeah,
choosing not
exactly.
to listen is like a big thing. And it's really, it takes time and it takes effort and it takes
Mm,
practice and it takes perseverance and it takes determination because not listening to other people's opinion quite literally is a piece of art. Like it does not happen overnight. Those things do
no,
affect you and they did affect me, but because I had the support and the community to back me up, I chose to focus on that as much as I could to overcome the comments, to overcome
yeah,
people pulling me down.
yeah,
Because people who were pulling me down, it was like I was going up and they were pulling me back down to their level. But then I had community and very successful thought leaders, people who have already achieved huge things that were pulling
mm,
me up instead of pulling me down. And the
yeah,
biggest thing that I noticed, like where I am now, it's really cool to look back on because in those moments, like I was just like, really like had belief in myself and supported myself and was able to pick myself up and got through it and all of that, all those great things, like I was able to do it. But now where I am right now, it's like reflecting on those moments for what they
mm,
are is like it's really interesting because everyone that was telling me I couldn't do it, again, they hadn't achieved what I wanted to,
mm,
so chose not to listen to them. But
yeah,
then the really successful like thought leaders, people who are out there making a difference, like all of these successful people, they look at me and see so much potential in me. They look at me
yeah,
and see that I can do this. They look at me and say, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to be able to do
mm,
this, Amber. Like keep doing it, keep going. So it
mm,
really just shows you the difference. Like your environments
yeah,
can either keep you stuck or they can
exactly.
stunt your growth, or you can have courage and say, I'm going to create a new environment to take me to where I want to go. And
Mm,
that's how I got through those hard times. But that's the hardest thing is people's
yeah,
opinions and the
yeah,
judgments and the
it
crap.
is. And
And
the
then
best,
also like having the courage to like own your personal power and just be like,
yeah,
no, does it bother me? No, I'm not going to listen to you. Hey, that really upset me and I don't want to work with you. Like owning that personal power, it takes a lot of courage. And
yeah,
a lot of people are afraid to do it because they don't want to be seen as a bad person. But
mm,
also, I think that we have this wrong view on kindness because we want
yeah,
to be kind, be seen as a good person, but kindness actually comes with being self-assertive in a compassionate
mm,
way. You have to be
exactly,
kind to yourself before you be kind to other people.
exactly.
So that was something I always kept in mind back then when people were giving me their nasty opinions was like, hey, I'm actually going to stand up for
Mm,
myself so that you
exactly,
can learn how to stand up for yourself.
exactly. That's very important, important, yeah. Was there something, anything? Yes. Oh,
No,
okay.
that's it.
Y- What?
That's it.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, I just thought that's okay. But yeah, definitely, definitely implement all what you said there. And the last thing, and also, yeah, to find the right people to guide and learn you, and also support you, and shows the people, not hang on to those who give you the bad energy, or not give you what you actually need to get where you want to go. And yes, also like you mentioned earlier on, nobody have done it before, so we don't have any like role models to look after. So it's about doing it yourself, and realizing that it's an opportunity as well. There's so many, yeah, ways to do it. So yeah, that was the last actually, yeah, that I had, the last questions I had. So it has really been an honor, and so grateful that you have shared all of this, given all of this. So yeah, thank you for that, Amber.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. This was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. Um, And yeah, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, and you can find Amber as well on Instagram. And yeah, I don't really have much more to say. I'm kind of just all over by all of the things that you shared. So I'm really thankful for that. And
Yeah.
that's, yeah, that means a lot. So yeah, thank you again. So. Don't forget to yeah, share it on Instagram. You can tag the podcast, and so I'd love to share all of those who listen to it. So go do that, and yeah, thank you for being here. See you. Bye.